Today, we're talking about habitual avoidance of work or efforts. I know what that means, laziness. But does this actually have consequences on yourself and even the organization, your enterprise, or your business? Let's find out on the show today. This is today's live on Equa Television International. My name is Joyce Jakada. I'm so glad that you could join us on today's edition of the show. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Equa Television International. Do well to join this conversation. Do you work with lazy people in your organization? How have you navigated through their laziness? Or are you the lazy person? Now, has that attitude made you stagnated? Or you are finding a way around it, like you're finding a way to get over it, overcome that attitude? Join us as we do this conversation. I'm not doing this alone. I have Sambo Solomon Sabe and an August visitor in November. Rachel, you're welcome to today's live.
Thank you very much.
Good
Joy.
to have you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so
August
I know
visitor
beyond
in
business and
November.
finance, today we'll talk about life.
Yes.
This is not regular for Rachel, you know.
It's not.
Rachel will always
Is there-
analyze finances for us.
Yes, it's not regular, but you know Rachel now. She
Of
will
course.
always find her way out.
Very
And you know when
capable.
you talk about laziness and you talk about income, you talk about profit.
How?
So
How?
just wait and see how she will analyze us.
Okay, but even the most proficient person,
Mm.
like at some point, there's that feeling of laziness, and I don't know if you have experienced that. But let's begin with ourselves, so that it will not look as if we have pride. Though some people are already saying it even before the show, pride. But have you had an experience, or have you at any point felt lazy? And I'm talking about work now. At work, felt lazy and had to procrastinate or not do anything, and was there any consequences? Did you have to face the impact or the implication of that feeling and even welcoming that feeling?
I mean, I like how you put the question because it's already on my mind. The fruit of laziness is procrastination, just as you said it. So if you find yourself procrastinating, you were lazy at one point in time. So I don't think laziness has to do with that. There are people who are lazy. We can all be lazy. It's part of us. Just like we have anger, joy, happiness, we can be lazy, regardless of how hard working you are. I think the problem is that some people just are more lazy than the others, and everything is down to percentage. How lazy are you? Do you always pick up yourself and get the work done? Do you wait to rest when you're done, or you just keep procrastinating thinking you have enough time? Like, how much control does laziness have over your life? Personally, I can be very lazy. I've had times where I'm very, very lazy, but then that's where self-discipline comes into. You just make sure that there's so much work that needs to be done. You need to get the work done, and then maybe you can be lazy. But you can't be lazy when there's so much work that is needed for you to be done, and then you feel you need to chill. Life, there's no chilling. Like, if we're going to be honest, there's really no rest as such, most especially when you become an adult. So this mindset of you need this rest, you need, yes, have a good amount of sleep, we need to be healthy, but any other thing outside that, I think you're just being lazy, and you need to watch out for that.
Well, I like the point you made. You know,
Rachel
that-
made me. I had to start thinking of the point that
the-
I was lazy. Okay.
honestly, because this issue of procrastination, just check yourself. If you procrastinate a lot, it shows that the percentage of your laziness pertaining that particular thing, it can't be general, but pertaining that particular thing that you procrastinate, that means you're lazy about that thing. And then, what is that thing that you're procrastinating? Is this something that will add value to your life or not? You understand? Because even in the chilling that you call, you understand, which in general term, people see it is the way of relaxing, you are not doing anything and the rest. But you put a lot of effort to even the chilling. So even at that, you can still be lazy.
Yes.
You understand? Because okay, you talk about the chilling that you talk about. Okay, what amount of effort are you putting in that chilling that you're talking, and then how balanced is that chilling? That you are even thinking that is how you relax, that is how you rest. Because some people take that issue of chilling, cooling time to be okay. Yes, we work 24 hours, like they always say 24 hours, but in the real sense, you check how many people work even 24 hours. You understand? And then they will tell you that because of that you need to rest. You can see now we are at work. Even people that are not working, they are the ones that will be advising you that you should rest, while them too they are resting.
True.
So honestly, but for the question that you throw, I think I had my own share the consequences of me being lazy, because of the level of procrastination, which I attach to a particular task. And then I know the number of query I receive, simply because I think this particular assignment I have time, and I feel it's something that you can just relax. Haba, here is this now. Under one day, I can just knock this and then I'm good. And not knowing that while thinking of this is how you're going to handle the assignment, another assignment is coming that you didn't even figure it out. So even if you are thinking of, yes, this job or this assignment is something that you can handle it under 2 hours or 3 hours, but do you think of the eventualities that something can come up? You understand? And then you have ample time, which you are supposed to like maybe knock the job, and then the job is lying down there, maybe 2 days to the submission. That's when you are going up and down trying to do. Yes, God help you. The 2 days, nothing comes up and you're able to knock it out. It depends on your capacity also. But what if, yes, with the capacity, and then 2 days to that project, because the person that gives you that assignment, he is thinking and hoping, but that time you have been done by that time, and then he's bringing 2 more to add, and he's telling you this one I need it in 5 hours before the closing hours. That affects that 2 days that you budgeted, and you are thinking this is when you start this assignment.
Because it's expected that as soon as you are given the project or the task, you start working on it.
You start working
but
on
you
it.
felt based on your capacity, like something I can do in 2 hours now. So
yes.
You wait, and then eventually more taxes are being added to you, and then you're like, how do I go about this? But this just draws my mind to the attitude of students, like how that a lot of times we already know from the beginning of the semester that we are going to write exams at the end of the semester, or there's already an outline of how the semester is going to go, and then you decide not to read, you decide not to form notes until a week to exam, and everybody says, I have to move to the hostel, or I need to read. But there are others that, because they know that they are already prepared mentally, that see, at the end of this semester I'm going to write exams. So what they do is that from the beginning, after each lesson, in fact, such students go use their course outline to study ahead of the lecturer.
Yes.
So, but like Rachel said earlier on, and I think I would like to align myself to that feeling is natural. There are times that you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like leaving the bed, but it takes discipline for you to overcome like laziness.
Sure.
There were moments that I had a lot of work to do, and I felt, okay, this is something like you said that I can do. I gave this person 2 weeks, but I know myself I can do this thing in 2 days, and I'd be like, let me take my time. Just when you want to start, you say there's enough time now, and then before you know, order, and that has always been my case. Just when I'm thinking that I can actually deliver in 2 days, but I gave this person 2 weeks so that I can take my time and do it, and then I'm having more tasks to actually handle, and then I'll start thinking, if I had done this one by now, I would have been done with it. Now I have to face the overwhelming situation. I had to overwork myself, that to the point that maybe you deny yourself of sleep because you want to meet up with deadlines.
That's the price that it comes
yes
with.
I had to pay that. There were times that as I was working, I slept off. Imagine sleeping, sitting down, and waking up around 2 a.m. and realizing that your legs are down and your body is on the bed. So that's the price I paid for not like doing the tasks as at when expected.
Yeah.
But this just kept coming to my mind. Why do people take work and are not ready to put in work? Like we talk about laziness being habitual avoidance of work and even putting of effort. Today you see people apply for a job and they even go ahead to say, I can work under pressure. Like, but now after being offered the job based on the qualities and the skills that you have presented, now there's this task before you and you're like, I did not come here so that anybody will stress me. I cannot stress myself. You hear all manner of statements and cliches and all of that. People giving excuses not to work. So why do you think people take a job and are not ready to work?
Okay, one I think is, I would say, expectation. Let me explain. Some people take job with a lot of expectation, right? But when getting there, they find out that probably maybe the whole thing didn't meet their expectation. And then it tend to affect the way they think and the way they approach everything around. To some, I will not say is an excuse, but expectation too can make people, if their expectation is not met, can make people to act that way. But let me say this, people forget that whatever you do judiciously, with the entire, like, your totality, giving out your best, it's for your sake. Yes, it's for your sake, because doing that, you're developing yourself, making yourself better, that with or without the organization in the nearest future, at least you have put in it your best. If not for anything, but that satisfaction that you know you have given your best to that organization or that work, that alone will keep you, instead of regret that I should have done this. I had this opportunity, but I didn't utilize it. So at the end of the day, it will end with regret. And that's the repercussion that comes with, that's the consequence that comes with, because you will live your life regretting, because anytime you remember that particular opportunity being given to you, you will feel like, you utilize it, you would have been better. And then maybe at that particular time, there are some openings that maybe I didn't be you built yourself where you are, or giving out your best where you are. It could have just been different thing entirely. So you just live with that guilt, and that living with that guilt alone is enough torment. Some is because of our system, because you find out even from school, they teach us how to be lazy. How to be lazy in the sense that you find that some teachers are even giving you suggestion of how you cut your waist. You cut corners. Like your teachers, they are telling you. You imagine primary school, where they're supposed to build you. But in primary school, they are telling you, you can get this grade. Your parents can pay their way through to their children, seeing them having whatever. So the children are seeing. And then they are making it to be character in them. And then graduating, coming to secondary school is a different ball game, but almost the same thing. Coming to university is the same thing. People buy certificate, and so people just think they can just sit down, relax, and buy their way. So coming with that mentality, you don't expect Joyce to give somebody work, and you expect him to give his best. And then even at the work that we are talking about, some is their parents that look for the job for them. They are just lying down, and then you hear someone's father, he's saying, I think I should just look for job for this girl or this boy. If not, the boy is just there, he's just wasting. Maybe he will just get something to do. Like an adult, you are telling. So definitely, if you get the person the job, he will tell you that he didn't apply for job. It's his father that forced him, or his parent that forced him. That's so the reason why he's doing that.
Just deal with that.
So the organization just have to deal with that. Is either they sack the person, or because of the relationship they have with, they keep tolerating. and then it affects the organization. You understand? The output, whatever the organization wants to achieve, it affects it. But they just have to look at it and just take it like that. So sometimes, you find out is the background, the foundation that normally
Background
affects us.
expectations can make people take job and still not want to work. Okay, Rachel.
Alright. Okay, so before we get to why someone would take a job and not do as expected or become lazy on the job, and I would like to just take us back a little bit to how we are or can be lazy in work, because I think people need to know what laziness is when it comes to work. It's not just about sleeping, it's not just about doing your task, but what are those things that you are lazy and you don't even know you are lazy? Now, you can take it back with the example you made concerning in school as a student, be it assignment, test, exams, and all of that. Okay, for me personally, if I would remember or if I can recall the times that I had it the best academically, if I performed well, my grades, right, were the time that I read throughout. I didn't wait for tests. I didn't wait for exams. I didn't wait till there was an assignment. I found myself always reading. After notes, classes, and all of that, maybe during prep and all of that, I find myself reading and reading. Whether there was going to be an assignment, whether there was going to be tests, whether there was going to be examination, I found myself always reading. The same thing with mathematics. I found myself always practicing. I didn't have to wait. Literature, any subject that I was struggling with and I wanted it to be my best and I didn't want to struggle with it, be it in the university semesters, was the time I find myself like reading, not just keeping my notes aside. Now we can bring it back to work. You're lazy if all of a sudden you're able to complete 20 tasks and subsequently you're only able to do 10 or 15. Now, it doesn't matter if in a week you're supposed to enter in certain records. For example, the entire week, let's say you're supposed to enter 300. I'm just trying to put it like anybody can relate it to the job that they do. What are the tasks you're being given to? Are you to analyze profile? Are you to enter data? Are you supposed to make reports? Are you supposed to do whatever you do in your career or in your field of work? And every day, this is what you're expected to be able to cover. And after a period of time, you find yourself incapacitated or reaching those tasks or finishing it as is expected. You are lazy or becoming lazy because it's expected that you become better. If you do 50 today, you should be able to do 60 tomorrow. You should be able to keep going better. And if this task, if it's becoming a normal thing, then you're supposed to add other things. Not that more work should be given to you, but that you should be able to, okay, you know what? Give yourself more, even if it is just for personal growth. Now, if you are a writer, for example, or you do, and you find yourself not able to just write a piece every week, even if you just give it out for someone to scrutinize it and all of that and see it, you are being lazy in your career or in your field. If you're expected, if you teach and you're not studying and you're not going out of the place, I'm a teacher, yes, professionally I'm a teacher, and then you find out that you are so comfortable with your lesson notes because you feel, okay, you know what, of course the Nigerian curriculum doesn't change, so it means that you don't have to go any extra mile in putting out work when it comes to your lesson notes or your lesson plans and all of that. But then you want to evolve also, so you're lazy if you are comfortable with the system just because it doesn't even push you to grow. Why are you not pushing yourself to grow? And I think that with this left, right, center, you'll be able to ask yourself, so have I been a lazy person? Am I becoming more intellectually sound? Do I know what I didn't know before? Or am I on the same level of recently certain things are happening and I'm realizing that I'm foolish and I'm not really growing in some side of wisdom, and I need to tax myself. It means you are not growing. It is a result of laziness and all of that. Now, coming back to why I think people will take a job and not do well on it or become lazy, I think first of all is comfort. You become comfortable I'm showing up. As long as I can do this, it's okay. Or what's the worst that can happen? At most, I can just be late. If I'm late this week, no problem. Now next week I'll try to be better and we move. Or okay, this is the task. I can procrastinate, right? I can just stay all through the day, not do anything. But in 2 days' time, I'll just sum it up and take it. You become comfortable. Why am I taking it as a place, at a point of comfortable? Because you do not see more out there for you. You become comfortable because you want to be normal. I think people who allow themselves to be lazy are normal people. You don't see the need to be different. You are okay with being regular. You're okay with being a regular person. So you just sit down. This is a lazy mindset. You just sit down and say, okay, this, that. Nobody's going to sack me. I'm okay. As long as I'm able to do this, do that, I'm in the good books and nobody will, we are fine. That's a lazy mentality, because then you're not pushing yourself. And also, people who are short-sighted, I don't think a hungry person can be lazy. You can't afford to be lazy if you want to be chief editor. I'm talking about writing now. If you want to grow to the level of maybe you work in a newspaper or magazine, or you work in a publishing company or anything, and you want to grow to the ranks of chief editor in chief, I don't think you can be lazy, because you can't be comfortable where you are. Hungry people cannot be lazy. If you are hungry for greatness, you don't have laziness, because I won't want to dive into the consequences immediately, because I think we have more this thing. Because one of the consequence, I hope I'm pronouncing it well, is that of laziness is that you do not become a great person as long as you decide to be lazy.
And additionally, when you walk in a place and you find yourself always giving an excuse, something is wrong.
Yeah.
You might not accept you are lazy. You might not know you are. There are people that are lazy, but they don't know
They
they
don't
are
know.
lazy.
Yes.
But when there's a tax and everybody is delivering on the tax, and you're always giving excuse, like you always have reason why I'm sick, this person around me has died, this person, like you always have excuse as regard why you did not perform on that task, then you are actually lazy. Like, look at you just mentioned one of the consequences of being lazy. Like, you will never grow beyond where you are. I mean, it is a sign of mediocrity. Like, how would you be doing the same thing for 10 years? You are at the same spot, and you need to sit and reflect. I know that there are organizations that actually contribute, but I mean, it's about self. It's about me, not even the organization. I've seen people like delve into what their organization have made them to become, like, or what their bosses have made them to become. But it is about my life. It is about my future. It's about where I want to be tomorrow. So why would I say, okay, even my boss, does he come to work? Because I had certain people talk about that. They were actually conversing. They were colleagues on the field. So at one of the residents that they went to do their job, they got talking about monies that were coming in and all of that. And then the other person said, that Hajia, what does she do in the office? She's actually their boss. But what does she do? Is not to come and sleep and then at 4 closes and go back home. Then he now said that, is it not me and you that are in the field now? My friend, we should not be wasting our time and our energy on this thing. Let's do what we can do. And I said, so I can just imagine where this conversation is coming from. That let's just do what we can do and then just go. And I was like, what about yourself? What are your goals in life? What do you represent? How about you being excellent? How about you not looking at your boss, not being your standard, but you looking at somebody that is delivering on the job to be your standard? Beyond your immediate post, there can be somebody at that field, not even in your office, that is doing well, and you're looking up to that person, and that is your standard. Why should a lazy person, the lazy colleague, be my standard for being hardworking or me deciding to be lazy? So in as much as I know that there are certain organizations that can help perpetuate this attitude of laziness, I mean, there are times that there are certain jobs that you come and you're expecting that your job expectation should be given to you, and then nobody's saying anything to you, even though for some offices it is their own way of tasting your patience and trying to learn about your character and all of that. But then your job description is not clear, policies are not clear, you do not know whether tomorrow this will happen or that will happen. And so you are not at the position of taking decision. So what would you do? Because there are people that will tell you, I'm willing to work. Every day I show up at the office, but then I'm given little or nothing to do. Even when I show interest, I show that yes, I want to do this, but probably the person heading the place or my immediate boss or even the organization is not even ready to like walk along. Like we find that mostly in government organizations. You don't get to see that in private organizations, because whoever is as created businesses or come up with enterprise is in business, and what he or she is looking for is profit, and there's a lot of competition out there, and that is why when you take up a private work, you know that you would work. People, that's why some people opt for government work. They tell you, I just want to get a government job, let me just go and sign and go, because they know that like maybe forms of monitoring are low and all of that, the expectations are not high compared to a private organization. But I would like us to talk about the impact now of laziness on the organization, on the individual, and even as the impacts generally of laziness, like at workplace. What do you think? What do you think is the impact when you have lazy people working in the organization, or when you have, it might not be all lazy people, but one or two persons that are lazy in about, like Jida told you, always say in a workplace it's a team, and in a team you have somebody that has this task that is assigned to him or her, and the person decides to always give excuse. Just think about the production that everybody's all out, and this person will tell you, I forgot camera, and I did this, I did that, like battery is not available. How, like, what are the impact of this?
Okay, the number one that came to my mind is that it stresses out your co-worker. Imagine how you made an example of a production crew of one person always forgetting or coming out and is just careless about the things that are needed. So in a situation where you and I are going for production and I'm always forgetful, I'm giving my work burden to you, because you who want to do your job diligently will not want to jeopardize your work at the expense of my laziness, because in the end we are going to get the query together. So imagine, because you know I will forget, imagine then you now going to carry the two cameras, being the one kind of tripod, making sure you don't forget everything. The workload now goes back to, so my laziness affect my colleague by taking my workload from them. In an organization, you see that certain people are more overworked than the other. Just because you're more competent, one person, the boss knows the other person cannot deliver, but he needs this job to be done. So he have to call the person that can do the work to do it for them. And it's a team. And team members have to carry each other and cover for one. So when you are lazy, your work burden, you put it on others, and that is not fair, because there's this show what called is the weak link, where there are a group of people answering questions, and in the team, whichever is the weak link that might make you lose, you take the weak link out. But you see, in an organization, you cannot take me out. We also have sympathy. We also have giving long ropes. We also have patience. We also have second chances, third chance. But in those periods of first strike, second strike, third strike, whether I like it or not, my laziness is affecting you, Joyce. My laziness is affecting my team members. I might not see it. I might think I'm okay, I am wise, and I cannot carry this work on my head, though. It's not my papa's house, or all of those things that people say. You don't understand that you're not playing your own part, is putting the workload on your team members, and in the end of the day, you are collecting the same salary. And if with time, it affects the other. I know we cannot sit down and say it's okay, like that example concerning the people out in the field talking about their boss. But that's also an effect of laziness. That boss is a lazy. Automatically, her laziness is affecting her workers out there. There's no excuse for them to sound like that, because one way to conquer laziness is for you to take yourself out of it. If you find yourself in an organization that is lazy, like I said, the Nigerian, no offense to the Nigerian curriculum, it has been there. If you want to be a lazy teacher, you can be, and you'll be good at it. But on a normal level, I took myself out of where I was working because I didn't see growth potential. In as much as it was because it's not like I had a job elsewhere, but I was becoming redundant in what I want to do, and I took myself. One way of getting out of it, if you find yourself in an environment that will help you to be lazy, even if you're not, is taking yourself out of it. However, if you your laziness affects others, just like with that boss and lady, you don't have an excuse to be lazy because someone else is lazy. But whether we like it or not, our actions when in regards to laziness affect others. It puts the burden on others, and it also makes others lazy, because with time you might start saying, I will also not do it. After all, is it not the same pay we get at the end of the day?
True. People will say, why, who is the fool?
Exactly.
You start hearing talk like that. I know that I've had my share of like having to work with people that are lazy. Now, it's overwhelming because the job has to be done. The task needs to be done. So just like you rightly explained, it's like pushing your workload on another person. And because you know that this thing needs to be delivered, you find yourself doing the work. Because one's laziness or colleagues' laziness can impact on the general like workload or the results that you're expecting at the end of the day. So you just find yourself saying, because this is not your kind of person, like, okay, I want to align myself. If this person is listening about, oh, let's not, all of us should just sit and not doing. This is not your personality. And you find yourself now overworking yourself. You find yourself getting overwhelmed. I remember a time telling a friend that, like, I come back from work feeling like I don't have blood in my body. Why? Because somebody is not doing his or her job, and then you have to take it upon yourself because you want the work delivered. So it can impact on your colleagues as well. And people don't know that laziness at work impacts even relationship. I mean, when there is work and they want to tag you with somebody, the person like, no, I don't want to work with this person because of past experiences, because you know that this person that they are pairing you with would not deliver. And you hear people, even in our field, like presenters, you want to pair this presenter and that presenter. This person was like, no, I don't want to do program with this person. Why? Because this person might shift his or her workload on you. And maybe you have more workload than this person, and yet this person wants to still carry his or her burden and push to you. So it can impact on your relationship. Like personally, I wouldn't want to do anything with somebody that is lazy or somebody that always want to give excuse that are not genuine. I mean, we know that eventualities happen, but people that will leave the house and come to work in the morning as early as 8 and they are saying, I'm tired. I remember doing a program, and we were supposed to do submit project topics so that you'll be assigned to certain lecturers or supervisors. And the person, like what I'm supposed to work in, based on my field communication, the lecturer that I'm likely to be pushed to is this like lazy, Richard talk about lazy teachers. You will come to the class and you are looking for a chair to sit down and lecture. And then you just talk for 1 or 2 minutes. You are sounding tired, stressed, cleaning sweat and all of that. So I kept thinking to myself, like, imagine this person supervising me. Ideally, if I'm writing a project based on my field, it is this person, and this is the only person as far as communication is concerned. So the likelihood of me being pushed to this person is very high. So I kept thinking, how would I deal with this lazy person to just sign? This person will always say, I'm not around, come tomorrow. Come. Then talk more of going through your work, effecting corrections and doing that. I said, oh, Joyce, if you don't want to stay here for extra 1 year, you have to look for another thing to write on. So look at the impact. Nobody wants to do anything with somebody that is lazy. And it also impacts on productivity. I mean, imagine you have deadlines and you need, like in our own field now, there are times that you need a program to be on air, or maybe you produce a certain let's say musicals, and you need to sell them, and the event is tomorrow, and because of somebody's laziness, these CDs are not out. You can imagine the loss now on the
You pay. Oh.
So it can impact on the productivity of that organization. It can impact on you as an individual. You will not grow beyond where you are. See, you wake up one day and start imagining, see my friend that we started together. You hear people making statements like we graduated and we graduated with this person together, and see where I am today. Sometimes your organization can enable laziness, but what do you do about that situation? Like Rachel said, she had to pull herself from a place that she was working. You don't have to stay there because your organization is enabling laziness. So let's just lazy about. And that's why when we talk about even association, if you have friends that are not enabling you to bring out the best version of you, you pull out, because sooner or later you see yourself adopting to mediocrity. Like it becomes a lifestyle. And then when you see somebody trying to work hard, you're like, this person of to do. Like they start calling you names. So if you're not careful with associating with people that are lazy, you find yourself, instead of growing, you are now adopting to that lifestyle of laziness. And then sooner or later you're asking yourself, but this person, we started work together, we'll see where this person, or this person we graduated together, and see where this person is. But it doesn't stop here. As far as the impact and the consequences are concerned, like they are more. And I'm sure Samuel Solomon, you have
about. Just to summarize, you can just easily say that the result is negativity, because what you get, it's regret at the end, because you will not see result. Whatever, if either on the organization or the person, because it affects the productivity, like you said. When you are thinking of meeting the target of producing 1,000, you now see yourself struggling with just 100. So it affects the organization negatively. So to you, it will affect you also negatively, because we don't think. Most people don't think about the future. You understand? We always think of now. And I like the way Rachel put it. That comfort zone. I think that's what affects most people. If you have this drive and hunger for upgrade, I don't think, even if your laziness will show, you will just know that no. Even you will tell yourself that you are not lazy, but it's just that it's natural. Sometimes you just feel like, yes, I need to sleep. No, I just need to keep this for a while and just get a fresh air, because that's what you normally hear. But keeping it to get a fresh air, and you're getting too much of fresh air while something is lying down, I think a hungry person, will not tolerate that.
Okay, but is it possible to overcome laziness? Because beyond talking about what laziness is and how people have perpetuate laziness at workplace and even in their personal life,
it's very possible.
So how do people go about overcoming it? Because for someone out there, I've been lazy, but I think I need to change from this attitude. How can he or her go about it?
Yes, you see, your environment may affect you. Could just be the reason why you are behaving or you are acting the way you are acting. The cycle of friends that you keep could just be the reason, right? The level of information you have could also affect you. When I mean the level of information, can be from even your family, because naturally you find out some family are just lazy. They just live by what today brings. So they teach the children. Like you see the children growing, like you see children, in the family with potential, but because that's the environment they grew up, they just find it is normal until they find it. Normal. You always talk about learning, unlearning, and relearning. So you just find out that comfort zone that you make it to be a character, because it has been developed over time, and now it becomes character. And now, because you are in a comfort zone, you don't see anything wrong until maybe you are being shifted. Maybe from, if just is my comfort zone and I'm being shifted to Bauchi, for instance, or Lagos, and everything about about that particular environment is totally different from what I see here in Jos, it becomes a challenge because I start thinking, why am I knowing this now? So this thing is not like this. So that's where the decision comes for you to overcome that thing that you are used to, and now tell yourself, oh, now that I know, I think this is the right step to take. If it's reading, then you engage yourself, get cycle of friends that love reading, that will encourage you even as they read, because it's not a day thing that you can just wake up and overcome it, because it has become a character already. So you just have to work with people that are willing to help you to get out. So your cycle will also help you. The first is you knowing that yes, there's a problem. Then agreeing that you want to step up. The next step is you finding people that you know you can look up to them and you are willing to go extra miles, because this time around, if you are supposed to go 50 kilometers per hour, this time around you have to increase the speed to meet up, because already there is a gap. So that willingness must be there. And you have to be just ready, to take whatever will come, your way, because this time around it's just entirely a different terrain for you, and then you are willing to break the grounds and then make a difference. So you just have to be patient again, because in learning, if you are not patient, you will not get it right. So you just have to be patient and then keep pushing. At the end of the day, I believe a result will come out.
Well said, Rachel.
One of the ways people change, and become less lazy, is
you said less lazy. Isn't it possible to just not be lazy?
To not be lazy, yeah, it's very, very possible. Okay. That's when you become a workaholic, and then you are now on the dangerous side of not being a lazy person. Yes, is learning from the effect or the impact of laziness, because one major effect, and you feel the impact, is that when you're lazy, you miss opportunities, most especially career wise. So imagine your laziness that has turned into the habit of making it late for appointments. You miss to see this CEO. You miss, you're not early for this one meeting, one encounter that could have changed your life career-wise, that could have taken you to the next level. And for some people, when they meet this encounter that their laziness led to them missing an opportunity, they change. But would you rather wait to learn from experience, or just be self-disciplined and just learn from other people? The question is, do we even take time to assess ourselves? Do we do an introspect of who we are concerning if we're lazy, if we're procrastinating too much, if we are where we are or not? Do you have goals that help you say, okay, I am lazy, I have been lazy, I've procrastinated? It doesn't even take that much. If you're a goal-driven or centered person, if 1 month you see yourself not been doing anything right, you should be able to tell yourself, I am a lazy person. How do I go out of that? Is discipline, okay? And you just be accountable for your action, because you need to get somewhere. You want to see yourself 10 years here, 20 years, there's a level of growth you want for yourself. But at the same time, these things I'm saying look more like a thing for a hardworking person. These thoughts feel more like coming from a hardworking person, because we have lazy slogans these days out there. And some of the lazy slogan is people saying things like, and you can even work hard and not see results. Yes. I don't know how to put it.
They used to say that the motivation of people that didn't go to school is to see people that went to school and are unemployed. Exactly. So today we use all manner of cliches. Hard work, no they pay.
Exactly. But let's just look at it. When you look at all the wealthy people out there, I know a lot of them came from wealthy background. Majority, if we were to put a percentage, we can give a high that is of the billionaires in the world. When you look at their background, they didn't come from poor. However, they did 100 times more than the background they came. If their parents gave them $1 million, they have billions now. There are people whose parents gave them $1 million and they don't have shishi right now. They don't have kobo. When you look at people that tried certain things, they tried over and over. Inventors, scientists, engineers, people who are pioneers and leading in their career and in their field. They are not lazy people. There is smartness there. There's a game of chance and luck. But when you put everybody that is at the top, the majority goes to hardworking people. That is a fact for sure. The majority goes to hardworking people. We have few that is by chance. We have few that is by luck. Maybe they by luck they stumble on. But a lot of people out there tried and never gave up. They put in the hard work. If you see the interview they had so many businesses that crumble, but they didn't stay down there. They kept on building and building and building. So that there's no way, no matter the slogan out there, I think hard work
whatever
will always
will happen.
Can you
yes,
imagine?
no matter the slogan
You
out
know,
there, hard work always pays. So I think that this is one thing for you to take out there, that you know what, forget this life I can't kill myself. See, kill yourself because the people that are out there died a lot of time, not physically.
A colleague
but they
said we
gave up
died and
sleep.
rose again in this job.
Exactly.
Is it not better to say that you die trying, working hard to make it,
better.
than people will say he died as a lazy person? Because I hear people say, you know, and this guy just gave up, and it is now that he's almost there to reap from the fruit of his hard work.
But his
and just
family
look at
and
it now.
people related to him was definitely. I've seen people that worked and toiled, that even if they didn't see the breakthrough, their children, their family, like had something to hold on to. And there are people that did not do anything, and as we speak, their family are still suffering their laziness, even when they are no
Joyce,
more.
what you just said now, I hear people say, I cannot work and gather money
For somebody.
and somebody. There is a name they call. They say
Next of kin.
one idiot. Like that's how they put it. Like one idiot will just come and sit down on it and eat. So I can't. The next one is I cannot just come and kill myself.
Recently, there's been a meme about eat your money, enjoy life, chill, because next of king will waste your money, something like that. But you see, the point of change is the point of taking responsibility. And I always tell people that you cannot change if you don't come to that point of realizing that I have a problem. So when you know that you have a problem in this area, you're already a step forward to changing. So there's nothing good that comes out of laziness. I mean, I talked about it impacting you as an individual, because you will not grow personally if you are a lazy person. And it also impacts on your productivity at work, that sooner or later in a competitive world like ours, you hear that your services are no longer needed. You hear people say, or employers saying, after all, like, if what does this person do? Okay, like you can easily be done without, because whether you're around or you're not around, like nobody feels your impact.
Or
so
anywhere your
when
name
there's
is
need,
mentioned, there's this hand they wave it.
Because like now, because of the economic situation in Nigeria now, a lot of organizations will end up relieving some people of their job, and if they are going to do it, they won't look for the most hardworking person and say, thank you for your services, you really served us well, let's take this lazy person and see how far this person can go. But if they are thinking of reducing people, they are actually going for people that are actually lazy, people that have no impact in the organization. And I say it also impacts on relationship, even with your colleagues. Nobody wants to do things with you. People right now want to make friends based on what will I gain. There are also a lot of sayings out there about how that see, the people you mingle with are your connection, your children's connection. I mean, apart from them being your children's connection, if you're down, how many of these people can you actually reach out to? Is there a lazy person you reach out to at night and say, see, my child is sick, can you help me? Of course, this person will not even pick the call, because he is a lazy person or
Joyce,
she's a lazy person.
you talk about people you keep and how they will help you, you know, in one way or the other. You know, it just reminds me, I was just talking with person with someone, a friend, and then the person was lamenting. What the person was looking for was just 2,000 to transfer to somebody. You know, this network glitch of GT Bank and stuff. You know that they're just messing people. You know, and then the person started calling people. You know that the person think they can help. Then after calling like 10 people, nobody could give the person 2,000 naira. Like the person has that amount, like in hundreds. You understand, but cannot. But like the person said that after calling all of those people, then the person started thinking about the kind of cycle the person keeps. So
but does he also give people urgent 2K? Because apart from you being unable to give you.
I know the person.
Okay.
And that's why I want to link it quickly to what you said, because it's very important, and that's what is happening to people. Simply just because I know you have money, and that's the reason why I'm friend with you. That I know at any time when I call, you are there for me. But like you now, you call me and say 1,000 naira, then I will give you the whole complaint of the world. Like seriously, like you will ask, and then you will begin to check the number of years that we put into the relationship, and then you begin the whole thing will begin to dawn on you that okay, so we have come this long, and then okay, then that's when you start thinking, okay, yes, I have even asked him for this, to help him for this. That's when you begin to think of those moments that this person is not even helping, you know, and then you find out why are you in that kind of relationship, you know, with the person. So like you said, people just feel like they can just connect with you and then just be tapping from you when it's time for you, because you talk about connection for your children in the future. So sometimes when situations warrant it, and then you can just say 2K, and then that person can just give you like 10,000, like. And whenever you call, the person is there. It's just unfortunate.
We're not really mindful of our association, and that's why most times we find ourselves in such a dilemma. But you see, it's very important that we are mindful of even people that we keep around us.
Honestly.
Like personally, imagine that you have a lot of things to do, and you have a friend that is telling you, let's just relax. I mean, you are a no-no for me, because I have a lot of things to do. Like I have things to achieve, and then I'm keeping somebody around me that is always sleeping. I mean, these things are like, how do they call it? Contagious. Like laziness is contagious.
It's contagious.
That's how I see it.
Yes.
And if I don't want to be lazy, I don't have to keep a lazy person around me, because sooner or later, if you have 5 friends and 5 of them are lazy people, then you didn't count well, because you are the 6th person. Eventually, there's no way. That's why the Bible says, he that walks with the wise is wise. But the friend of the fool, maybe you should read that. So, but it's very important that we're mindful of our association. Like I said, the good news is that you can overcome laziness.
Sure.
First, set goals. If you set goals, then you know you have something to work on. But when you have no goals, I mean, anybody can just tell you, let's sleep today and not go to work. Let's sleep, let's not do this task. And you find out because you don't have anything to do. But if you have goals, you know that I have something to work on. And you need to be disciplined, like Rachel mentioned earlier on. That moment that you wake up from sleep and you don't feel like going down, it is that discipline that will tell you, no, you have to wake up, you have to go down and do certain things. Earlier, some days back, I was telling a friend that, before we're forced to sleep to observe siesta. Now we're looking for the siesta. But based on the goals you have set for yourself, you cannot even. How that they will have to ring bell for us to go and sleep for 2 hours. They will follow us, we'll force ourselves to close our eyes, but we don't want to sleep. Or we even run. No. We will run and go and hide for that 2 hours because we don't want to sleep. Now you're looking for the sleep. Goals will not allow you to sleep. So it's just important that you set goals. You are disciplined. Have a mentor, like Sambo Solomon mentioned. Somebody that will push you. Somebody that will guide you. Somebody that will follow up on you. And when you do that, you will hardly find yourself lazing about. If you have the right circle at work of people that are challenging you to be a better version of yourself, then you find out that every day you're working, you have things to meet up with. But when you keep a lazy person, of course, you can't want to be a better version of yourself. So it's important that we know that though you are lazy, the good news is that you can overcome that laziness. A lot of people had to pay a dear price at workplace because they were lazy. I mean, they had no value, and because they had no value to the organization and they want to remain at the organization, they found themselves being like even giving them their bodies to their bosses because they want to keep their offices, they want to maintain their positions, going into unhealthy relationship, bribing their way through because they want to maintain their work, they want to keep their work. But if you add value to yourself, if you're a person of value, if you have impact on the organization, you don't need to engage in all those unhealthy acts, because of course at the end of the day your organization will feel your impact and even in the productivity of your work. Our time is actually fast spent and we need to draw the curtain. Thank you so much, Sambo Solomon. And Rachel, hope to do this with you again. Thank you so much.
You, Joyce.
Our editor, Victor Bande, we are grateful. Camera crew, Mata Isa, Hassan Danjuma, we are grateful. And to the transmission unit, Ila, Linda, and Jerry, we are grateful. Sound, give it to Moses. Chofu, we are grateful, and to all the crew that we cannot even mention. Thank you for doing this with us. We'll come your way tomorrow, same time. Bye bye.